Think about the last person who told you the truth. Not what you wanted to hear, the actual truth. Now think about how many of your friendships are built on that, on someone who actually challenges you, who tells you when you're wrong. Most people surround themselves with mirrors, people who reflect back what they already believe, who confirm what they already feel, who make them feel safe and smaller. Nietzsche had a radical idea about friendship. He said the most valuable person in your life might not be your closest ally. It might be your best enemy. What does that mean, and why did he believe it could change everything about how you grow? Nietzsche was not a warm man. He was not someone who collected friends easily. He was difficult, demanding, intense, and almost everyone who got close to him eventually pulled away. But he thought about friendship more deeply than almost any philosopher before him. And what he concluded was uncomfortable. Most friendships are not about growth. They're about comfort. He wrote that we crave friends, not to be challenged, but to be agreed with, not to be seen clearly, but to be seen favorably. We build social circles that function as applause machines. And in this video, we're going to look at what Nietzsche actually proposed instead. The concept of the best enemy, someone whose opposition, whose honesty, whose refusal to flatter you is the most valuable gift anyone can give. We'll look at what separates a real friend from a comfortable one, why conflict can be an act of love, and how to find and be the kind of person Nietzsche believed was actually worth knowing. Let's start with the friendship most of us actually have. Here's what a comfortable friendship looks like. You share a problem. Your friend listens. They validate how you feel. They tell you you're right. You feel better. Nothing changes. Nietzsche called this pity friendship, and he was not kind about it. He said pity, dressed up as compassion, is actually a form of contempt. You pity someone when you've stopped believing they can do better. Think about every time someone told you, you don't need to change, when you knew you did. Every time a friend supported your excuse instead of questioning it. Every time agreement felt good but left you exactly where you started. This is what Nietzsche called the neighbor love trap. We surround ourselves with people nearby geographically, emotionally, socially, and mistake proximity for genuine care. He wrote, "You cannot stand to be with yourselves and do not love yourselves enough, and so you want to drag your neighbor close and gild their proximity." In other words, we use friendship to avoid the harder work of knowing ourselves. The comfortable friend is not evil. They're just not building you. And Nietzsche's question is simple. If no one in your life makes you better, what exactly are you protecting yourself from? Now here's where Nietzsche gets radical. He wrote that you should seek out enemies, not to destroy them, but because a worthy opponent reveals something no friend ever will, the precise edges of your limitations. He called the ideal figure in your life the best enemy, someone who opposes you not out of hatred, but out of conviction, someone who takes you seriously enough to push back hard. The best enemy is not a bully or a critic for sport. The distinction is crucial. They challenge you because they see something real in you, a potential gap between what you are and what you could be. And they refuse to pretend the gap isn't there. History is full of these relationships. Darwin and Huxley, Jobs and Gates, Freud and Jung, who broke apart violently, but whose opposition sharpened both of them into something neither would have been alone. Nietzsche wrote, "In a friend you should honor even the enemy." That line is the key. You honor the enemy in your friend when you don't protect them from hard truths, when you take their ideas seriously enough to challenge them. Think about the people who made you sharper, better at your work, more honest with yourself. Were they the ones who agreed with everything, or the ones who wouldn't let you get away with anything? This is what Nietzsche meant by the best enemy. It's not about conflict for its own sake. It's about the particular quality of attention that only someone who genuinely respects you will give, the attention that doesn't look away from your flaws. But Nietzsche didn't just describe what's wrong with friendship. He had a vision of what it could look like at its best. He called it star friendship. The image is this: two stars moving in the same sky, each with its own gravity, its own light, its own trajectory, but aware of each other, drawing each other forward without pulling each other apart. Most friendships work the other way. One person becomes the sun, the other orbits. Or they collapse together codependent, merged, unable to see where one ends and the other begins. Nietzsche thought both were failures. Star friendship requires that you are already whole before you meet. You can't enter it from a place of need, needing someone to complete you, to fix you, to make the silence less loud. You come to it as someone already doing their own work. And the paradox Nietzsche identified? The closer two stars are, the stronger the gravitational pull. But if they get too close, they destroy each other. The health of the friendship lives in the space between, in the gap that preserves individuality. He even wrote beautifully about friendships that end. He said some star friendships are not destroyed, they simply become estranged. Two stars that drifted into different orbits. And that estrangement, handled with dignity, is not failure, it's completion. The question star friendship asks you, are you someone another star would orbit? Have you built enough of your own gravity, your own convictions, your own work, your own becoming, that you would draw someone genuinely worthy toward you? So let's land this. You've been sold an idea of friendship that feels warm and looks good online. Matching energy, mutual validation, group chats where everyone agrees, it's comfortable. And it is slowly making you less. Here's the truth Nietzsche puts in front of you. If no one in your life has ever made you genuinely uncomfortable, has ever told you something true that you didn't want to hear, then you are not surrounded by friends. You are surrounded by mirrors. And mirrors don't build you. They show you what you already are, over and over, until you start mistaking the reflection for reality, until you stop growing because no one around you needs you to. The best enemy is rare. They are rare because being one is hard. It requires you to care more about someone's growth than about their comfort or yours. It requires the courage to say what you actually think, even when agreement was available and easier. The best enemy is rare. They are rare because being one is hard. It requires you to care more about someone's growth than about their comfort or yours. It requires the courage to say what you actually think, even when agreement was available and easier. If you can name that person, protect them, honor the enemy in them, because what they give you is not comfortable. It is irreplaceable. Nietzsche would say it is the only form of love worth the name. And if you can't name them, then the work starts with you. Become someone whose honesty makes you worth knowing. Stop confusing kindness with agreement. Stop calling comfort care. Build enough of your own gravity that the right people are drawn toward you. Amor Fati. Love what is yours, including the friendships that challenged you. The people who refused to let you be less than you were capable of. The ones who left when you stopped growing. And the ones who stayed and demanded that you did. All of it. Yours. All of it. The Forge. Most people will keep surrounding themselves with mirrors. They'll call it loyalty. They'll call it their circle. And they'll wonder, quietly, why they feel so unchanged after all these years. Or you begin building differently. You bring honesty into your friendships instead of just warmth. You find the person who will not agree with everything, and you value them most. You become the kind of person a star would orbit. If this resonance reached you, subscribe to join our journey into the depths of psychology and power. Like this video to help spread these ideas to those still trapped in comfortable circles that quietly ask nothing of them.